This is Bridget Rau with Divine Essentials. Alright guys, we're doing a pick-a-pile. I've got Starseed Oracle, Soul Purpose Oracle, and the Past Life cards here. So we're going to find out a little bit about your past lives as a Starseed, your soul purpose, and lives that you could have lived on the earth. So choose your pile. We've got quartz, we've got labradorite, and we've got the one, I can't think of its name, the pink one. Oh my goodness. It's a quartz, but it's a pink quartz. So, we're going to start off with pile number 1. Let me pull it forward. You can pause if you have to take the time to get to your pile. Let me make sure you can see. You can see. And we're going to start off at 50... Boop. 55. Okay. Alright. So, like I said, we're doing a little bit of Starseed energies, a little bit of soul purpose energies, a little bit of past life energies to figure out what you've lived, what your purpose is, things like that. I do have a new reading that I offer on my channel, on my website for Starseeds, for your soul purpose, your mission, and things like that. So you can go dive deeper in on a private reading if you like, and I have codes down below that will give you the deal, the discount. Alright, so from the Starseed Oracle you have Healer. Your mission is to heal yourself and others. So I feel like you are probably somebody that has an innate ability to heal people. Now you've probably experienced a lot of turmoil, a lot of ups and downs in life because of that. Usually healers go through a lot because you've got to go through it, you've got to experience it to truly be able to empathize and help other people get through stuff. So I feel like the best healers are the ones that have healed themselves, the ones that have risen through adversity, have gone through the darkness, have come out the other side of difficult situations, and usually you continue to go through those difficult situations as you help other people. So it's almost like you are continuously graduating through one extreme to the next, and it says right here, you are here to overcome and growing. So I feel like this is going hand in hand together with what part of your purpose is to come here and heal and to learn and to grow and to deal with all the difficulties that you face. So even though it's been difficult, this is for your highest best. Everything that you've been through, everything that you will go through, and everything that you face is basically making you a stronger version of yourself and helping other people. You also have the Starseed card from the Soul Purpose Oracle, so this tells me that you are here awakening and shifting the collective consciousness, which is basically what you're doing by healing and overcoming. Every time you go through something that you rise up through and grow through, other people who are going through that are impacted through the collective consciousness. So the fact that you awaken, the fact that you're here, the fact that you maybe lost people physically, you've been through difficult love situations, you've been through, the ringer with maybe addiction, maybe codependent behaviors, however it's manifested, whatever you've been through, it ripples out around you and it helps other people, and you keep awakening and shifting your own consciousness, which is helping the collective consciousness. And then we have Orion, which says healing soul patterns and contracts. So you could have energy from Orion. You could have been an Orion. I'm noticing the wars and battles here. So this is a past life. You probably could have been around the time that we had the Galactic War. Now you could have been an Orion, or you could have been in Lyra. And what that means is that you probably have some sort of karma from the battle time. Now, it could be a wounded battle of somebody that lost their home and had to travel to another place within the galaxy. Or you could have been part of the battle. You could have been somebody that took somebody else's home. So one way or the other, you would have some sort of karma or some sort of contract that you need to heal in this life. So again, you're here to overcome, you're here to heal these patterns and these contracts that you've experienced in other lifetimes. And I feel like you could have even been here on Earth for different wars, different battles. So you may even be somebody that's kind of drawn to that stuff, or you may have an aversion to it, depending upon who you were within a past life. So if you were somebody that was a part of the war, you may be somebody that's like, you know what, I'm going to fight for America, or I'm going to fight for my country, wherever you are. But if you were somebody that lost your home as a result of war, you had to travel to another place within the galaxy, you could have a big aversion to war and be like, what is the purpose? Like, we should all have peace, we should all have harmony. So how you resonate with wars and battles, even just on personal levels, like when you fight with people, you may be the type that's like, I'm gonna fight you. Or on the flip side of that, somebody that's like, I'm not gonna fight you at all. Like, I'm just gonna hide over here and be a good little munchkin and stay away because I don't want to fight. I don't want to cause issues. I just want to, avoid battles at all costs. So take it as it resonates, because I feel like there's going to be a split down the middle of some of you who have been, the people that were the perpetrators, and sometimes you were the people that were the victim. We also have imprisonment and slavery here. So you could have been during a war, you could have imprisoned other people, you could have enslaved other people, or you could have been imprisoned or slaved. So again, you're going to have to take it as it resonates. And what I'm seeing here with Egypt is you may have even been, one of the workers during the time of Egypt. And I know there's like a conflict with that. So like, I don't believe that like a bunch of men with ropes built the pyramids. I feel like the pyramids were built with much more precise technology and things to that nature, but I do believe that there were people in that time that were kind of looked upon as lower class, could have been seen as slavery. So you could have lived a life as a slave, or you could have lived a life as a king or a queen who enslaved others, who had servants. So again, think about how you feel about those things. Like, are you somebody that's comfortable with other people doing stuff for you, or are you somebody that gets very uncomfortable when other people are trying to do things for you and you're like, I can do it, let me take care of this, let me make you breakfast, let me make you dinner, let me make you lunch, let me, do your laundry, fold your clothes, let me, take you here, take you there, I'll drive, don't worry about it. It depends on what type of person you are. It's going to show what you experienced in your life. So again, I feel like some of you could have been the perpetrators within the war, could have been a king and a queen in Egypt, and you could have a lifestyle that's like good with that type of stuff, right? You're like, I'm fine with other people doing shit for me, and I'm going to fight for my rights. Like, I'm not going to let anybody walk all over me. Or on the flip side of that, be like, I think everybody should just be peaceful, and I don't mind doing this stuff to help you out, but I don't really need you to help me. So take that and feel it inside of your soul, what it feels like, and then think about how that would show up in your life this time for you to clear those contracts. Because you may even, like, say you were the king-queen person that had slaves, you may feel like people owe you something. You may feel like, why doesn't anybody else step up for me? Like, why doesn't anybody ever help me? When it may be something that you need to look at. It could be connected to the ego of being like, well, no. But for the most part, I feel like a lot of you are going to be the ones that were imprisoned or, lost your home as a result of the war, because you've got the Andromedan energy here saying, allow yourself to receive. So it feels like a majority of you have a hard time with receiving. And it's likely because you were always giving. You were the one that lost your home. So it's like you're always chasing after home. You're always looking for the next place that you're going to be staying at, or like feeling like you don't have a true home. So you've got to allow yourself to receive in this lifetime, and you've also got to be able to say no without feeling guilty about it. So you could struggle really badly with boundaries. Of course, as a slave or somebody who's imprisoned, you would have been expected to do certain things, and you would have just done it. You would have gotten up every day at the same time. You would have eaten every day at the same time. You would have been made to do certain tasks. And I feel like that would carry into this lifetime as, again, having a very difficult time receiving from others. That's the pattern. That's the contract that needs to be cleared. You need to start standing in your power and saying, no, enough's enough. Like, I'm not going to keep being your slave, or I'm not going to keep doing this for you. I'm going to step up for myself, because just because I lost my home, galactically, 1,000 billion years ago or whenever it was, doesn't mean that I need to keep like giving away my power in this lifetime. So I feel like that's something you probably are. It's going to depend on how long you've been on your awakening path, where you're at with that. I feel like some of you are at the point where you're like, I'm establishing my boundaries. I understand this. Like, I'm no longer going to be the way that I was. I'm no longer going to avoid conflict just at all costs of keeping everybody else happy around me. I'm going to stand in my power. But some of you may be at that point where you're starting to recognize these parts of yourself and recognizing that, okay, this is an issue. This is something I need to fix within me so that I don't keep attracting people into my world that are going to treat me poorly, or I don't keep, avoiding conflict and putting my own needs and desires below everybody else's. And you also have Arcturus here, which is about cellular activations, telepathic communication, and electrical pulse. So I feel like there is something about you that's almost advanced compared to other people around you. Like, the Arcturian energy is very advanced energy, very technological. You could have, you could be really good with electronics, or you could just have like a higher than vibration. Your frequency can be very high. You may have a lot of ringing in the ears. You may have a lot of like weird electrical stuff that goes on around you. And it's almost because you are this electrical pulse. So you give off this energy that like impacts your phone. It impacts the light systems around you. It impacts people around you. And I feel like the telepathic communication could be something that you receive from guides, or you could receive from friends and family members, but you could doubt at times. So you got to, again, start trusting this, but also keep healthy boundaries up, because I feel like you may, you may know what someone's thinking, and that could at times make you have a tendency to be like, let me put my boundary down and do what they want, because I can tell that they're mad at me, or I can tell they're going to be frustrated, or I know something's wrong with them, but they're just not telling me. And it depends on how you feel about wars and conflict and battle. You may have a tendency to do certain things or avoid certain things based off of what you're picking up from people telepathically. And with the cellular activations, I feel like that's a positive. I think that's something that you probably receive as a healer. You probably give to other people as well without even noticing it. You could telepathically be giving people activations and be receiving these activations from the stars, and it's helping you to access information. It's helping you to remember this type of stuff, and it's helping you to recall your ancient wisdom teachings. So you also have shaman and Native American here. So you could have lived a life as a Native American, or you could have even been in South America as a shaman. I feel like those two types of energies go together well. So you could have even lived both lives. You could have been somebody that's been here a few times on the earth as a native, more connected with the shamanic routes, the path of the earth and connecting with the earth. And that is a very peaceful path. It's somebody that, is more in tune with nature, is more in tune with Mother Gaia. You're going to know, like, when something's up with Gaia. You could have a telepathic communication with her. You could kind of just feel, like, when a storm is coming. You might be able to smell or sense when, like, snow is on the horizon. You can probably, like, track yourself, be maybe good with directions. It doesn't necessarily have to be all of those traits for you to have these things, these abilities, or to be connected to these things, but I definitely feel that there's ancient wisdom teachings inside of you that you carry that you need to tap back into. So getting outside in nature and drumming or having a sacred fire would probably be very beneficial for you to gather some of the information that you may have forgotten or just haven't really tapped into yet. And as a healer, there may be, a shamanic path for you to go down. For myself, the shamanic path has been much more powerful than a lot of like the Reiki or the new paradigm or this or that and the other thing. Shamanic teachings, whenever I tap into that stuff, it's like, boom, it's powerful. So you could definitely resonate with that more and maybe not even know it yet, because I didn't know for a long time. I was doing all these other things, all these other modalities, and it was like finally got pulled to the right thing. But as a kid, I always had like an affinity with different stuff, like my grandmother used to call me her little Indian. So, it could be, there could be little signs like that, little synchronicities like that can give you that clue or that indication that this might be part of your path or part of your past life or part of your soul purpose. That is something for you to dive into and start feeling out and, seeking. It's hard to find shamans. Shamans are like the ones that hide away. People seek out the shaman. The shaman isn't the one out there like, calling out like, hey, I'm a shaman, come work with me. It's usually your soul calls you to find the shaman. and then you find the shaman and they mentor you and they teach you, and then you can become the mentor for other people. Like I mentor people through the Moon Key, I mentor through the Starrites. So you could be something, you know, there could be somebody out there like that for you that you need to have as your mentor to teach you. Like I had a mentor for my Mesa, but then I have people that want to work with me to learn about my Mesa from me. They want to wait until I've finished completely building mine so that I can teach them instead of them going to the teacher that I went to, because everybody resonates with a different person and everybody has a different path. So you could be somebody that needs to get on the shaman path. And then we have Astral Traveler. So it says, travels the universe defeating darkness. Now, for me, this feels very much connected to this because we go into the shadow aspect. We go into the subconscious aspect. We look at a lot of the, like, subtleties of things. You know, we look at, like, the representation of the eagle, of the hawk, of the, you know, different animals, of the earth. We look at the representation of water. You know, it's always the subconscious parts. It's the darker parts. It's not, like, in-your-face clarity, like, hey, this means this. It's subtle, and it has a way of twisting and winding, and everybody has their own way of interpreting. So I feel like this may, again, be something that you just do naturally, like through your dream time, through astral travel. You could be somebody that receives a lot telepathically while you're asleep at night. You could be receiving a lot of downloads, a lot of information, and, you know, defeating darkness. Again, you could defeat darkness in your dream time. You could be out there fighting in the astral realm for the light. And I know a lot of people do that and they're exhausted because they go to sleep, but they're not sleeping. When they're asleep, their conscious mind is off battling, you know, the dark entities or the dark energies or the darkness that is infiltrating so many people on our planet, and, you know, the fears and the doubts and the subconscious programming that gets instilled into people who are constantly bombarding themselves with news and constantly bombarding themselves with the fear tactics and the control systems that we have set up here. So I feel like you're somebody that's constantly battling this stuff, but again, struggling sometimes with your own personal boundaries, struggling to allow yourself to receive what it is that, you know, Spirit's been trying to give to you, the information that's innately inside of your soul that needs to be recovered, the memories of ancient Egypt. You could also be connected to Lyra or Sirius, having that type of energy there. You could have been in Lyra when the whole war went down. Or you could have been in Vega. Lyra and Vega, those two places, a lot of them ended up transporting to Sirius. And Sirius is Isis. And Orion was Osiris. And the great chambers of the Great Pyramid line up with those two stars. So it's all intertwined. You could just be somebody on a twin flame journey that has, you know, come here to integrate telepathically with a divine feminine or a divine masculine who's supposed to be like your depiction of Osiris and Isis coming back together, you know, to elevate consciousness and defeat darkness and to defeat the battles and the wars that are going on at this time galactically and on the earth and just in yourself. So I definitely feel like you have an ancient soul, and I definitely feel like there's a purpose for everything you've been through, and that you're still evolving and still growing, and that the shaman path may be one that's going to help you to uncover even more of yourself. But hopefully this assisted with you, and I definitely recommend getting some healthy boundaries and just giving yourself the permission to receive what you need so you can start breaking those contracts and patterns that have been, you know, blocking you in your life. So thank you guys very much. In Renee. Namaste. All right. So number 2 has the labradorite, and we're going to start at 1833. Okay, labradorite. Ooh, we got some past life energies here. We have some soul purpose energies here. And then we have the star seed energies here. So the first one out is Wisdom of Whales, Cosmic Ocean, Portals of Infinite Wisdom. So I feel like you could be somebody that connects with the Sirian energy. You could be a Sirian starseed, or you could just be somebody that's really connected with like the emotional body, the emotions. I'm seeing this here, so you could be somebody here on a sacred journey of love, like twin flames, soulmates. You could be somebody that's separated from a divine masculine at this point. But I definitely feel like you're here for a reason emotionally, okay? So even if you, like, you could be the divine masculine, you know, you could be a man here that's your role is something that's needing you to tap back into the cosmic, infinite wisdom within yourself that's connected with the whales. So the whales are basically like a representation of wisdom, of consciousness, of energy. And the portals that are underneath in the ocean connect from here to Sirius. So you could have a Sirian connection, a Sirian starseed connection that you've separated from. I definitely feel like you are a galactic starseed type of person, okay? Because this is the past life. So there's a past life within the stars for you that there's wisdom, there's information, there's some sort of stuff that needs to be tapped back into. It's like you're separated from it. You steered away from your soul's mission. So I feel like because this divine masculine here is about honoring sacred masculinity and power, having clarity and confidence, you may not be somebody that's very confident right now, or you may not have enough clarity about who you are and what you're going after. There could be some, obstacles in your way, because you've got the remover of obstacles here with Ganesh. It says, chanting and channeling with your voice eliminates suffering and heals blockages for yourself and others. So you could be somebody that needs to start using your voice, even as a writer, to start clearing away the blockages and the information or the things that have kept you from alignment, what you've committed to. Okay, so I feel like some of you, it's going to be to do with love. You could be the divine feminine that's, steered away from your soul's mission with your divine masculine. Your divine masculine could be running from you, or they could be, having a hard time finding their own clarity and confidence. But if that's the case and you're the divine feminine, they're your mirror. So it's going to show you that there's something you're mirroring to this person where you don't have clarity and confidence. You don't have a part of yourself that's, tapped into that infinite wisdom and abundance that's available to us. Look at that. We've got father here too with the past life. So I feel like there could be something connected to a dad that some of you guys are struggling with. So it may not even be that you've committed to a sacred union. It may be that you've committed to healing some sort of pattern or some sort of relationship that has come from another lifetime. They could have been your father in a past life. They could be your lover in this life. Or they could have been a lover in a past life and your father in this life. And I know that's creepy and icky and whatever, but it happens. People can have your brother be your lover in a next lifetime. We have soul contracts with people, and it happens, and it's not like you were aware of it. It's not like you're doing anything gross or incest or whatever. It's just a soul. It's just energy that takes a new form, and it's our conditioning. It's our societal beliefs and things like that that make us go, ah! And I'm not for being with your brother or your sister or anybody in your family. I'm just saying that it's energy, it's consciousness, and there's a resonance that we all share, and we all, vibrate on certain things. So you're going to come back each lifetime in different ways. So in the galactic lifetime, you could have been committed to this person as we're going to be together on a loving, committed, sacred, divine feminine, divine masculine union. But when you come down here, you could have signed into a role of, all right, you're going to go in 20 years before me and you're going to birth me as a child. Or you're going to go in 15 years before me, and then our father is going to have me with our mother or another mother or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's just that it's all interconnected. And I definitely feel like there's something here with the masculine energy for you, whether you are the masculine or whether you are the feminine. There's some sort of clarity and confidence that has been steered away from, that's been causing an obstacle in your life. And you need to start writing or remembering what it is that you've lived through so you can tap back into that infinite wisdom inside of yourself and recover the pieces that are trying to awaken you right now. You could also have 1111 showing up a lot right now that's trying to give to you some sort of synchronicity. It's the awakening code, and it's also about mirror. So there could be somebody in your life mirroring to you something right now that is showing you what you need to know and you need to understand in order to ascend, in order to heal, in order to grow, in order to overcome those obstacles. Chanting and channeling with your voice. Channeling with automatic writing is your voice. It's going to eliminate suffering. It's going to heal the blockages for yourself and others. So there could be a story inside of you that needs to be written or needs to be spoken or needs to be expressed. You also have Atlantis. So I feel like you were here during the time of Atlantis. And during that time, the father archetype was in power, right? We had the masculine energy that was here, and it was causing an issue because it was all about control. At the end, when Atlantis fell, it was because of control and power and greed and people trying to, manipulate things, and it caused the fall, right? It caused everything to go, and it caused the flood, and it caused all this craziness that now everybody's got a billion stories about. But you definitely, I feel, were there, because you got it twice, and you could be somebody that needs to work with crystals to start recovering information as well. So there could be information inside of crystals that you've programmed in another lifetime that you've committed to, understanding in this lifetime, that you're going to have to start channeling through either writing or speaking or just even meditating with these crystals to start recovering the information that happened in that past life. And then you've got the dolphin consciousness here, which is very much connected to Atlantis. You've got the dolphins here twice, so I feel like there's something to do with dolphins and you. Now, dolphins do represent twin souls, which is a being committed on that sacred divine feminine, divine masculine journey. And I feel like there is sound healing that you need to use. So channeling and chanting, right, with your voice, not only writing, but like actual chanting to get rid of things that are causing blockages, like gum num pate there's all these different things that you can say, that you can channel, that you can chant, that will help you to start eliminating the blockages that you could have that are keeping you from your joy, that are keeping you from understanding. And it could all tie back into Atlantis, or it could all tie back into the galactic lifetime you lived prior to or after Atlantis, but I feel like for a lot of you, something happened in this lifetime with the father archetype, where the sense of control and power that took away your clarity, that took away your confidence, that caused this big blockage in your life that's keeping you from joy, that's keeping you from expansion, that's keeping you from just having alignment with your divine counterpart or finding your divine counterpart. For some of you, you may not have found that person. Spirit could be trying to awaken you right now with synchronicity and confirmation so that you can get away from a karmic situation, or you can get away from something that's just causing you to feel like very inconfident, like just to feel a lack of confidence, to feel like I have no idea what I'm doing with myself. I have no idea where I'm going. I have no idea about this entire thing that she's talking about right now. Like you could be very confused just in general with who you are and where you are and what you're wanting to do with yourself. And I feel like it's all due to something that's connected with Atlantis, with the power control that was set up, and Spirit is trying to wake you up and to get you to, remove those blockages and to start vibing at the highest quotient of light with the feminine energy. So rebalancing and using the masculine clarity and confidence to bring about the feminine essence rising and being receptive and allowing things to come to you. Because I feel like there's some sort of blockage where it's like you may be afraid to allow yourself to receive, or you may be afraid to be the essence of the feminine because your masculine may not have confidence enough or clarity enough to be the masculine. So you could both be steering away from your appropriate roles. So you could be in your masculine energy too much, trying to control, trying to pursue, trying to protect, trying to do all these things that are out of balance with what your sacred role is as a divine feminine. Or you could be the divine masculine that's out of whack and out of balance with your energy, and you could be the one that's trying to receive and be receptive and trying to be the nurturer and the lover, when you should be the one that's pursuing and protecting and going after things. So you're going to have to look at each of your situations individually, because I feel like it's going to matter on a soul, personal level for everybody. But there's also this thing that you're needing to protect yourself. You're also needing to anchor your light. So I feel like there's just, this is confusing to me, but it's not. I feel like you guys, there's so much chaos, there's so much stuff going on in the energy fields around you that it's like you just have no clarity. This is what the energy feels like. That's why I'm doing this, because I feel like you guys have all this shit going on that's causing it so that I can't get a clear message across. Even though I'm speaking, even though messages are coming out, I feel like there's a block. I feel like you're not hearing it. I feel like you're not really understanding it. And I feel like I'm not understanding it. But I definitely feel like there's a way to remove that blockage by opening the vortex. So grounding the vortex, imagining a tornado of energy around you that's going to get rid of all of that chaotic crap that's there. see the vortex going all the way down into the heart of Mother Earth, boom, anchor it there. Call on the angels, archangels, ascended masters, call on the galactics, call on whoever, whatever feels appropriate to you to call on. And then when you do, ask them to assist you in bringing that vortex all the way up into the lightest source, where all information is known and stored, and then speed the vortex up to just under the speed of light for transmutation and protection. That way, anything outside of the vortex that's all like this, or anything inside of the vortex that's all like this, is going to get transmuted out to the appropriate levels for transmutation, and you're going to be protected, and you're going to have a clear channel of information coming down from source to you, so that you can start receiving and anchoring your light, and you can start vibing at the highest quotient of light. And when you open that vortex, you can ask to specifically go to Sirius. You know, I feel like Sirius is definitely connected to Atlantis. And you can also ask to go to Atlantis to get information from your past life there. You can ask to connect specifically to the Divine Masculine, or specifically to the Divine Feminine, or specifically to whatever energy it is that's going to assist you. You could specifically say, please anchor my vortex into the information and wisdom that I need to know, that I need to channel, either through the written word of automatic writing, where you basically open the vortex and say, I'm going to start channeling, and then you just start putting your pen to the paper and you just write whatever comes out. You know, don't think about it, don't doubt it, don't start going crazy with it, but just start writing. You know, and then whatever comes out, read it and see if it makes sense for you. Or do it through your voice. Do it with sound healing, because you've got the sound healing here. So you might need like singing bowls or drums or something that's going to help to clear away that chaos that's outside of you. And once this is cleared away, I feel like you're going to be able to have the clarity, the confidence to no longer be steered away from whatever, you know, has steered you away from the commitment to the person that you have, whether it's on a romantic level or on a soul level with a dad or somebody that's supposed to be the archetype of the father, which is the emperor, basically. So you could have a divine masculine out there that needs to step into the role of the emperor, and you could be the divine feminine that needs to step into the role of the divine, you know, empress energy. And this is your wake-up call to tell you, like, it's time for you to start going through the portals. It's time for you to start opening the vortex. It's time for you to start remembering and accessing the past lives, to start working with the crystals and retrieving the information that was given to you, you know, lifetimes and lifetimes ago, to start remembering the information of your galactic lifetime, to start writing it, to start singing it, to start speaking it, to start channeling it and chanting it and putting it into sound frequency and sound healing, and through those tools in any way that feels appropriate. And I definitely feel like there's a reason that the dolphins and the whales are here, because they both connect with Sirian energy. So I feel like you might have a lifetime in Sirius where your emotions are connected to, and you channeling from Sirian energies, from the dolphin consciousness, from the energies of the whales specifically, is going to give you wisdom. It's going to help you to remember. It's going to help you to balance your emotions and to awaken the pieces of yourself that need to be awoken, so that you can have the essence of the true divine feminine and true divine masculine in balance within yourself, within the right roles of the archetypes of the father and the mother. And then you can start to embody those energies and bring together that committed union that you have, you know, signed on for, whether it's, you know, making amends with a dad, or making amends with the fact that you were abandoned by a dad at some point, or making amends with the fact that you felt like you were abandoned here on Earth, or feeling like you were abandoned by a lover. Because I know a lot of people deal with divine masculines that run from them because the divine masculine isn't in his clarity and confidence yet, and the divine feminine isn't in her receptive clarity either. So it's like you both play a sacred part within it. If you have someone running from you, you're running from it too. You just don't see it that way because you're looking at them as, they're running from me. But you've got to look in the mirror and say, well, what the hell am I running from? Or what am I not doing appropriately within my role here as a divine feminine? And maybe in a past life you were the divine masculine, so now you're trying to get the clarity and the confidence to be divine feminine. So I feel like it's really going to be dependent upon each and every single one of you, what you've signed up for specifically. And I think that's part of the reason why I'm getting so much energy, because there's so many of you. but take it as it resonates, because some of you are meant to write, some of you are meant to sing, some of you are meant to just work with crystals to retrieve that information. Some of you have committed to a divine masculine, and some of you have committed to a divine feminine. Some of you need to, basically, no matter what you've committed to, you need to fall into the appropriate role for who you are, with a balance between both. Being able to go after and pursue things is your masculine role, but being receptive and receiving is your feminine role. So you need to find the right balance between those two things, so that we don't have a repeat of Atlantis where it comes crashing down, where you're not causing conflict, where you're not mirroring things out into the universe that we've already experienced. So it's like learning from the past. That's why I feel like some of you need to work with like Atlantean or Lemurian crystals to retrieve information in meditation while you're listening to sound healing, or while you're listening to something specific like the energies, the song of the dolphins or the song of the whales. I feel like listening to that is the sound healing that can help some of you too, with an emotional level, with the clarity, with like the receiving, just being in that receptive mode, you know, listening to the song of these dolphins, that like that squeal that they give off, and the whales, that like deep undertone that they have. I would even look for something that has a little bit of both of them together, because I feel like that's basically like feminine and masculine energies together, helping you to equate and balance out what you've got going on, which will help to awaken and to remember what you need to remember in regards to your specific journey. And I think all of you, no matter what in this pile, have a Sirian starseed connection. You have an Atlantean connection. So you probably started off in Sirius and came down here for Atlantis. And when Atlantis fell, you could have gone back to Sirius, or you could have gone to other places on the earth. You could have ended up in Egypt as a scribe or writer. And I feel like basically this is information that you guys need to know. This is stuff that you need to figure out for yourself by opening the vortex and following the synchronistic codes, and you know, looking into the programmed crystals and looking into the music, into the energies and frequencies, to either write it or channel it or chant it, or however you feel appropriate to do it, so that you can come back into alignment with the information, with the clarity, and have the confidence to be committed to your role as either the high priestess or as the high priest, as the, you know, hierophant or the emperor, however you want to look at it. But you definitely have sacred information and wisdom to gather for yourselves and to clear the blockages away so you can do it. Okay? So hopefully that made sense. And like I said, feels like each of you are going to have your own little kind of story there. So do what feels right to you, and try not to doubt so much. Try not to, you know, doubt yourself, basically. Like, I feel like you'll listen to me, but you won't listen to yourself. And that's the main issue that's keeping you from the union with whatever it is supposed to be that you unite with. Because I know not all of you, it's not going to be romantic, but for a lot of you it probably is. But you've got to figure that out for yourself. Alright, so we're going to move on to number 3. At 37, 57. Alright, so we've got Starseed Oracle here, the soul purpose, and past life. Ooh, alright. So let's see what comes through. Alright, so Sirius has come through a lot tonight. So Sirius is here. It says released emotions connected to lower vibrations. So I feel like you could have some lower vibrational emotions inside of you right now that need to be released. You could be somebody that has a hard time crying, you know, in front of other people. Or you could be somebody that's just crying like nonstop, or just being emotional nonstop. It was so weird for me today. I woke up and I saw my Facebook memories. I've cried every morning for the last 3 years on this day. And it was all for different reasons. 2 years ago, it was, you know, it was the day after my dog had died. And then last year, I can't remember exactly why I was crying, but I had made a post about crying. And then today, I was crying about something else with one of my family members. And it was like, it was weird just to see, because I didn't know about the crying on those 2 years prior until I saw the memories and I had already been crying. So I was like, what the heck? So you could have lower trapped vibrational emotions that are trying to come up today specifically that need to be released, or it could just be stuff that's been compiled for years and lifetimes that need to come out to be released. And then you have the sun, divine masculine growth and power. So again, I feel like there is some sort of emotional energy, which is divine feminine energy, that needs to be expressed, that's going to help you to grow, that's going to help you to stand in your power, that's going to help you to come to a time of completion. So number 5 is about change, and then 28 adds up to 10. So it's time to change your emotions so you can come to clarity and like to this place of completion and oneness with whatever it is that's inside of you that needs to come out, because a lot of you are master teachers and you need to align with your full mission so you can assist and teach others. But you can't do that if you're holding on to these lower vibrations, or you have trapped emotions inside of you from other lifetimes or from experiences in this lifetime. You know, maybe there's stuff that you've cried about, but you never truly processed it, or you never truly looked at it. So I definitely feel like there's something inside of you that needs to be processed so that you can step into the role of the master teacher. And then you have infinity, which is number 13, which is the divine feminine number. And this was 30, which is transformation. It says infinite love, unified duality. I feel like you're here to work with the feminine and masculine. And that's what unifying duality is all about. And stepping into infinity, which is that abundance energy, which is that expansion, which is that transformation that needs to happen collectively for the entirety of the planet. And then you have 12th dimensional instant creation cosmic consciousness. So number 12 here, I feel like you're on like a procession right now. You're somebody that's tapped into a higher dimensional awareness. You're somebody that's able to manifest rapidly and quickly. The only problem is that it could be coming from lower vibrations. So you could be connecting with things that make you feel like shit, and it comes to fruition really fast because you're on a 12th dimensional level of consciousness, and you've got to start getting rid of those trapped things inside of you that are bringing about stuff that you don't really necessarily want to bring about, so that you can continue to align with the full mission and assist and teach other people to embody this, because this is the highest level of awareness that there is. This is realizing at a deep, innate level that you're the conscious creator of your reality, and that every thought you think, every feeling that you feel is rapidly moving out around you and attracting things into your reality. So if you're having those lower than vibrations or those lower than emotions rippling around you, you're going to have those experiences that do not feel so good. So the trauma and pain that you overcame now brings guidance and hope to other souls. I feel like that's part of your mission, is to get rid of the lower vibrations, the trauma, the pain that you've overcome, so that you can teach other people. I feel like some of you have already done it, and some of you still have a little bit of work to do. So there's almost like you're at that highest vibration that you need to be at. You're in that infinite love. You're unifying duality. But there could still be some trapped emotions or some trapped trauma that's keeping you from ultimately being in the flow of that infinite like expansion. But you also have the United card. It says you are aligned with your soul's mission. So I feel like you're doing something here now that is aligned. For some of you, it could be on your love life. It could be like you're with a twin flame. Yeah, you got the love life and the spouse card. Holy crap, male and female. So again, you're here to unify duality, and I feel like you are united with that role, but you may be in separation from a person specifically that was like supposed to be your spouse or supposed to be a part of your love life, somebody that you took vows to in another life. I feel like this is a big part of what you're meant to be doing so you can assist and teach other people. And this might be part of the trauma and, pain that you're going to overcome, is through separation from that person or through coming together with that person, and that will help you to release those lower vibrations or those emotions that are still trapped. Because I feel like maybe some of you are the divine masculine that are growing into stepping into your power fully. Some of you are the divine feminines that are unifying duality by loving your masculine unconditionally, even if they're not there with you, loving your masculine unconditionally, even if they are there with you, realizing that they already are there with you innately within you because you're on the 12th dimensional conscious awareness. So there is no separation. There is no duality. It's all an illusion that we see from our limited perspective of the third dimension. It's us looking at it as there's a male and female. It's us believing that there's a separation that keeps us in that place of being separated. But if you lived a lifetime where you took a vow to a person that may not be the one you're supposed to be united with, that could be keeping you trapped. So doing the declaration of sovereignty will help you to clear out any vows of poverty, any vows of celibacy, any vows of silence. You know, your person could have taken a vow of silence and they could be the runner ghost in your connection. Or you could have taken a vow of celibacy and it's been very hard for you to have sex with anybody but one particular person. And that one particular person may be trauma and pain that you need to overcome so you can get to the love life with the spouse that you're supposed to have, but you could have made a vow in another lifetime that's keeping you from that right person. So you've got to open up the Akashic records, and this is going to assist to access the ancient wisdom that's going to give you the information to know the difference, to know, am I truly aligned with the right person, or am I aligned with the right vows, or am I, is my love life going to be, this divine thing, or am I separated from it right now? Have I truly unified duality within myself, or is that something I'm still learning how to do? Because you're here for the Great Awakening. You're here to unite all of humanity in harmony, which is, again, unifying duality. It's coming into balance. It's coming into harmony in all areas. So you have a huge mission, which for a majority of twin flames, that's what the purpose is to unify duality, to awaken humanity, to come into harmony and balance, to access the 12th dimensional awareness and consciousness, to grow into our power, and to release the lower vibrational triggers, the emotions, the bullshit that keeps us stuck, and to overcome that, to help other people through the collective consciousness rising, and to coming into this time of assisting and teaching other people. So I feel like for most of you, it's probably going to be that you're on a twin flame journey. Some of you are united with it, which doesn't necessarily mean you're together in the physical, but you've already figured out within that they're not truly separate from you, that it's all an illusion here on this level of consciousness. And some of you still have vows that you need to clear away so that you can come together and be united in the physical. And some of you still have trauma and pain to overcome that are connected to lower vibrations that may not even be to do with your masculine or your feminine. It may just to be to do with your family, with your mom, with your dad, your cousins, your brothers, your sisters, whatever. It could be just to do with friends. It could be some sort of vow that you took on yourself that, again, was going to keep you stuck in poverty, or was going to keep you stuck in this illusion of separation, or keep you in the predominant masculine role or the predominant feminine role, when I feel like these two energies and this energy here are definitely speaking about unifying duality. And this is about, bringing those two into harmony. And this is about harmony. And this is about being united together in oneness. So there's something here that's meant for you to do, which is a very clear message. I feel like I can't really give you much more than to let you know that everything that you've been through up until this point was for a reason, and that everything that you overcome is going to help other people, whether you do it like one-on-one with people, or whether you just do it by, okay, like I've worked through this bad emotion, I've worked through these lower vibrations, and because of that, it's rippled out through the collective consciousness. So you can, align with your full mission by assisting, or align with your full mission by teaching. And you can assist indirectly, or you can teach directly, but I feel like it's going to be dependent upon you and what you have signed up to do here on the planet at this time. And I definitely feel like you have vows that you've taken that have to do with your love life that are going to very, very severely impact it. Some of you, it's that you went through like a karmic marriage or some sort of karmic love life that was very toxic and very, painful for you to deal with. But once you've overcome that stuff, you're going to bring in the divine masculine within yourself, or within a man who's going to truly give to you the love that you deserve, that's going to take the vows to be united with you in a balanced way, so that you can unify that duality energy, so you can consciously create together on a 12th dimensional level, so you can be instant manifestors, bringing harmony and balance to the world, bringing harmony and balance to each other, getting rid of any vows of like silence, celibacy, poverty, fear, regret, things that make you feel bad for being a man, or things that make you feel bad for being a woman, things that make you feel bad for tapping into either one of those roles. Because sometimes you're a woman tapping into the masculine role, and that's fine. You're supposed to be in a balance of both. But when we do it, sometimes we get yelled at. by society. Or when a man is too feminine, when he's too emotional, he gets yelled at by society. He's being too girly. He's not being in his power. He's not being confident. He's not being strong. But it is strong for a man to embrace his emotions, for him to connect with this stuff, for him to admit that he's been hurt, for him to love unconditionally, or for him to unite with somebody, to unify duality, and to even look on a conscious level that they have the power to create their reality. So I feel like there's definitely like a sacred divine connection here mixed in. Some of you have to get rid of the vows to like a karmic toxic thing. Some of you have to get rid of one that you might have thought was divine so that you can align with the true divine. Some of you just are meant to work together with this person, but you may not be coming together, as commitment on like a love life level. But for many of you, I feel like that's what it's going to be about, is the love life. So if you don't feel like that's something for you, then I would choose a different pile. But I think everything you've experienced in this lifetime has been leading up to this. I think everything you've experienced in other lives has been leading up to this. And you are united with your mission. You might just not be united with the person yet. And that's a matter of, have you hit the clarity? Have you released the emotions? Have you aligned with your full mission to assist and teach the collective consciousness through assisting and teaching yourself? And with the Akashic Records, you can access this with the vortex, or you can access this, through automatic writing, however you feel appropriate. You can go into dream time, to astral travel, or you can just meditate with the intention that I'm going to connect with the Akashic Records and I'm going to retrieve the information that I need to retrieve. So again, like I said in pile 2, you want to imagine like a tornado of energy around you going down into the heart of Mother Earth. And when it gets down there, you're anchoring it into the core of Mother Earth, to the heart of Mother Earth, the center. And when you get there, you want to ask for the angels, archangels, ascended masters, multidimensional beings, whoever it is you want to call on, to assist you in bringing that vortex up through all the layers of the earth, surrounding you in your physical body, connecting with your aura, rising all the way up into the light of source, where all information is known and stored, and then ask to speed the vortex up to just under the speed of light for transmutation and protection. And anything inside of the vortex or anything outside of the vortex that is not vibrating at that unconditional love, at that infinite love, will be transmuted out, and you'll be clear, and aligned and protected. And then you can ask to bring down the information of the Akashic Record, the ancient wisdom that you need to access from these past lives, so you can understand what vows you took, so you can understand what energy you're in, so that you can start unifying that energy, and you can start understanding those vows, and you can start understanding a relationship on a deeper level, and start consciously creating, the new relationship that's going to be balanced and in harmony, so that it can ripple through the collective consciousness, assist other people, teach other people how to be the divine masculine, how to be the divine feminine, how to honor our emotions, how to overcome the trauma and pain, and how to release the lower bullshit that we're stuck within. Okay, so hopefully that assisted you guys. Hopefully it made sense. Like I said, if this doesn't seem like something you're dealing with, I would definitely choose a different pile. But it feels like this is, for the most part, something that is tied to a love life. It may be something that you're going to later on connect with, but for right now, I think you could have like a step up if you do that sovereignty prayer. So just look up the Declaration of Sovereignty. It's a very long prayer that clears out all vows. It clears out all things that we may have signed up for in other lives and in this life that are keeping us stuck or keeping our people stuck. Things like our cords, our attachments, our energies that are just blocked. And, keep working on whatever trauma you've experienced and releasing the emotions connected to it. Like if you wake up every year on the day crying, there's probably something to dive into and to look into, because that might be what's keeping you from uniting with a particular person. That might be what's keeping you from consciously creating exactly what you're trying to create, because you could be able to create abundance like crazy, you could be able to create other things like crazy, but when it comes to love, we get blocked because takes two to tango. But it's also, there's things that have happened in other lives that could be impacting this lifetime. There's vows that are taken in other lives that could be impacting this lifetime. There's information to access that could be impacting us in a negative way. There's stuff that you've lived through with your parents. There's stuff that you lived through with your family that impact your love life on a deep level. So if you want to have this type of a union with somebody, you've got to do that deep soul work so you can have that sacred love and unify that duality. Alright guys, so hopefully that assisted you. Thank you very much. All of these decks are available on Etsy, except for this one. I will have a link down below for the past life one. And Imune, namaste.